Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My patrons on Patreon. And this is a public edition, which will be released after it's been recorded. And I got a Sabby. I got a Sabby kit. Oh, Leo Mood Sunday. Just literally came up here maybe 30 seconds before I hit record. He's like, "Hi, Ma. Hi, everybody. I'm on vacation. I already shaved. I showered. I'm very, very, very happy to be taking the path that I'm taking. I hope you are all well. Of course, as it says in the parentheses, it's public edition. Every now and again, we release these to the world. Just meditated, and I'm very, very excited. If you've been following along, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Patreon, you know that my friend Lillian Carter, filmmaker, choreographer, and college roommate. We lived in a studio apartment on the Fenway in Boston in the 80s. It's driving down tomorrow. And we're headed out east. I do live on Long Island, in case you're watching me for the first time. Like, who's this guy? Welcome. Here's a bit much to the first dose. Hi. My friend Lillian from Boston, Lillian Carter. I've known her since college. She's driving down here, and we are going out to Montauk for a couple of days on a retreat. I haven't seen her in 2 years, but she's one of those friends, those soulmate contracts. Doesn't matter how much time passes. And so I had all this work scheduled to do while she was here. And since it's a Sunday with a Leo moon, a double whammy, solar energy, Sunday, day of healing, day of success, day of light, day of truth, day of Apollo, creativity and all that. We'll talk about the astrology in a little bit. My body yesterday, because Lil's coming, get the house ready, and you got to make this video and that video and this and this and this. And my body said no. My body it was such a clear, intuitive voice. And, the voice of the inner child was like, I'm tired. What? I was like, you know what? Yeah, we took some time off. We drove up to Saratoga for the holidays to see my family. It was great. But it was busy. I mean, it was like I rested, I ate. But that was a restive retreat. I'm going on an adventure, a creative adventure with Lillian. Oh, I'm so excited. We've been talking every day. We've got reservations in place out east, at the very, very end of Long Island, the South Fork, Montauk. And just very, very up for it. And we're going to be creating stuff as we go. She's actually got what do I want to call this in the public edition? She's got a project that she is working on creatively, and we've been talking about it. And I've been her witch. I mean, I'm her friend first and foremost, but I'm also her witch, right? She watches the readings on my channel. We talk about them, and I call her out usually in the Cancerian videos. We say, "Hey, Lil, how you doing? What do you think?" Right, which is cool. But I wouldn't say I'm collaborating with her, but I am supporting her, inspiring her. I'm amusing her, like a muse, one of the Greek goddesses of inspiration. Hashtag Xanadu. No, but thankfully roller skates and like warmers are not required, although a Michael Beck dance scene would be nice every now and again, but you never know what's going to happen. Only certain people are going to get that reference, and you know what? They're welcome to Drawing the Circle Productions on YouTube and Patreon and everywhere else. So getting the house ready. We are going to create content. I'll put something out, reels, shorts, something or other. But Lil's got some pretty big things on the horizon. And as a good witch, and I mean, I'm good at it. Let's not get into the whole Glinda Elphaba scale. I'm helping her make her dreams come true. I've done it for so many people throughout my career. Like the Good Witch, I make your dreams come true. Well, I don't make your dreams come true, but I can certainly point and say, try that. Pull a card, say a prayer. Here, devil, a list behind your ears before you go in on that audition, first date. Who is you? What's this? Whatever. A little clue, a little tip, a little hint, and a little aromatherapy goes a long way. Being the mystical artist and the professional witch that I am. So it's just lovely to be able to serve in a way. And, we're going to talk. I got stuff on the table we're going to talk about before we're done today, because I'll still do this every morning on Patreon. But, once every couple of weeks on a Sunday, I release this to the rest of the world. And my patrons are aware of it. So if they feel like chatting, they chat. If they don't, they don't. It's all good. So let's talk a little bit. We are now on the other side of the Cancer full moon at the time of this recording, right? What a full moon. I mean, it had me inside, outside, upside down, all sorts of weird sleep patterns. My circadian rhythm is out of step, but that's okay. It's good to break the circadian rhythm every now and again and reset. So I did my magic for the Cancer full moon, and a lot of it was, let's get the house ready, right? House, home on a Friday. Kick that off with a lot of love. Lil's coming, right? So for my cats, my 3 boys, I was like doing stuff for them to make sure their home is a little bit more, well, it's comfortable, it's clean, it's healthy, but like more fun for them. And clean myself up, and then really looked at the 8-card draw shadow reads that I just completed 2 days ago for the full moon in Cancer to the new moon in Aquarius, January 2023. And I say it in the videos. It's like I look at the readings that I do on the channel. It's not like I really have time to go get a reading from somebody else. I've been reading myself since a really long time. And when you have 4 of them, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, because I know my Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, to at minimum take the mantras from the readings and put them together in what I call a paragraph of power. Now, they're the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck. If that's your introduction to Matt Kahn, it's a wonderful deck. But his YouTube channel, his books, I'm a witch. He does not consider himself a witch. He's West Coast empath, master empath, spiritual teacher. He's younger than I am. He eats kale. I don't, right? Stylistically, we're different, but we're on the same mission. Absolutely, we're on the same mission, right? It takes more than one wing to fly a plane. So go into his stuff if you like, if you really, because it's helped me. As a spiritual teacher, anybody considers themselves or wants to be a spiritual teacher, first of all, teach by example. Second of all, share what works for you and don't expect everybody for it to work for them. Highly individualized curriculum for each and every one of us. Thank you, Course in Miracles. So what I did, and I'm not going to go through all of the 12 mantras, right? The readings are there if you want them on YouTube. Go have at it. But the 4 that I got, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign in that order, are as follows. And I'm just going to show you how I do this. So for my Virgo Sun, I got demystifying the darkness. My shadow shows me where my love needs to be sent. It's a shadow read. Waning moon. Bingo, right? And I do shadow work. Doesn't matter where the sun, the moon, anything, doesn't matter. Shadow, whatever arises, love that. Again, another Matt Kahn thing. My Pisces moon, allowing appreciation. The value of my life increases every time I appreciate everything in it. And look, we're about to go on. And I'm already like appreciating like a little bit here, a little bit Abraham Hicks here, a little bit, and feeling my vibration rise, whatever, coming into alignment with my inner being, my true self, sitting in the vortex, whatever. My rising, my Leo rising, releasing expectations, right? Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not, which is really helpful. To stay in the present moment, and we'll talk about it. And for my Libra and Venus, embracing worthiness, I feel every cell, I feel worthiness filling every cell of my body, and it feels amazing. Okay, So, no, oh, how nice for you, Mal. How wonderful. You must be so thrilled. Well, I am. Because then what I'm doing, what my waning moon, my 2-week period is, here is I'm demystifying darkness, allowing appreciation, releasing expectation, and embracing worthiness. All right, clunk, 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 click, 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 click. And the way that I do that is my shadow shows me where my love needs to be sent. The value of my life increases every time I appreciate everything in it. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not, because I feel worthiness filling every cell of my body, and it feels amazing. Right? And all the other cards that are in the spreads are valid. The messages are there. But all I got to do is remember the mantra and weave them together. And yeah, I could move them around. Sure, put them in a different order. They would take a different meaning, right? So play with that. Just wanted to share that. That's why I do these. They're not the most highest watched things that I've ever done on the YouTube, on YouTube or otherwise. But I get a kick out of them. And the 5-card draws, look, I'll come back. We'll go back up north at some point, and I'll get the 5-card draws. But you know what? I did the Path of True Love reads with extendeds. I got I think I got like 4 of them done. 3 like Cancer or Gemini or Cancer. I left off on back in early December because the fucking holidays hit, and there was a lot this December. So of course, I've been surfing burnout. It was the holidays. I mean, I had a bittersweet friend of mine crossed over early in December, but got to see friends from 30 plus years ago at the funeral and reconnected with some people. Went and saw family. But here's the thing: when it's something that you love doing. See, I took the risk 24 and a half plus years ago to start drawing the Circle Productions so that I would be self-employed, be able to do what you love and the money will follow. It's a book, right? Follow my bliss, Joseph Campbell, right? Take the road less traveled, check, right? So I've worked really hard. I've released, I put myself out of the norm big time, right? A lot of sacrifices were made and a lot of sacrificing of norms to take that road less traveled. So I really love what I do. I wouldn't do this unless I loved it. Like not just the YouTube and the whole thing. I started reading tarot when I was 12. I could have been I modeled. That quantum version of me is dead. I was an actor. That version of me, I'm sure somebody killed, right? Sex, drugs, or rock and roll, right? Very few quantum, let's say 1,000 Angelo Lyonses were born in the quantum what's this? There are like, I don't know, I would say maybe 100 left. And I'm one of them. So the point I am making, particularly today, Leo Moon and Sunday, if I'm like, I don't want to do it, I don't want, and it's something that I love, and my body is saying no, if I was trained to push through that stuff, and you know what? Look where that got the world. Look where that got us as a society. I was raised with pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Unfortunately, stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about. Hey, I was born in 1968. I'm not complaining. But I understand the conditioning to an extent that I was raised in, and it is a good thing. It's very warrior energy. I mean, if you know other people in my family, you know this to be true. But if you ever meet a bunch of very strong personalities, right, competitive, and I have friends who work in academia, and they're not allowed to critique students because they're sensitive, and I get it. Most of them are in artistic context, so you already got like a sensitive, creative thing going on there. But I was talking to both of these people, different, they don't know each other, both in academia, both working with younger people and students. And I said to them, do you remember The Paper Chase? It was a TV show, John Houseman, and that guy, curly hair guy, don't remember his name. I suck at names. John Houseman, I remember. It was about a lawyer and a law professor who rakes those students over the coals every single week, and we loved it. We loved watching it. He just cut them down, right? That's what I was trained in. I was trained for a competitive market, right? It was none of this spare your feelings. No, we will critique you. So we're sending you out into the world sharp and honed, and done ethically, sure, right? Particularly as an artist. I was raised with the movie Fame, right? You have dreams, you want fame. Well, fame costs, and here's where you start paying with sweat. Fame, right? Please, right? Very, very, very competitive market. I mean, some of the most competitive people I've met in the entertainment field, honestly, ballet dancers, no kidding, right? Black Swan isn't some intense shit goes on, right? Stun grew wings. So this is what I mean. I got the discipline. You should see. Oh, I did a video for my patrons just to show them what I do before I go on camera to do any reading that I do. The Ho'oponopono, the breath work, like all of that stuff. And that is the artist in me, but that is also the athlete in me. I'm a dancer. I dance every morning. That's my workout. They say as you get older, you got it for mobility, for stuff, whatever. But I watched this TED Talk, I don't remember what it was, saying that as you get older, you might as well find your exercise and things you really like doing. I'm like, well, okay, sex, there's that. But, monkeypox, I'm over it. But I loved it. I mean, the music, I channeled that my body takes in the vibe and it does what it does. And I can really bust a move. Like with all this stuff about TikTok dances and stuff, Lillian and I have been dancing together for a very, very, very long time. So we're good at what we do. And maybe we will record some of that and put out that content. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Because when my body says, I don't want to do this anymore, and I push through it, my lower back goes out, I burn out. I call it surfing burnout. And the quality, no matter how much breath work I do, no matter how much prayer I do, no matter how much meditation, crazy glue a crystal on my third eye for 48 hours, whatever, sea salt bath, right? Whatever I got to do. That's not love. That's not loving. Push yourself like that. Grind that pedal to the metal. Not at my age, at least. And I said this to my mom. I said, if we had this technology, if I had the ability in my 20s to be on YouTube doing readings, I'd be unstoppable. But I wouldn't have the chops that I have now. I wouldn't have the mastery and the expertise. And mastery, is a weird word, depending, but you get a master's degree, something like that. That makes sense. But like how an apprentice, right? You apprentice for something and then you achieve your mastery in that, and then you take on apprentices. That is exactly what I've done, except I apprenticed to the gods and the archangels, apparently. Why? Because I don't like people telling me what to do, but divinity, that's fine. Perfect love and perfect trust of the gods and the archangels alone. Everybody else has bad days. Well, I am a salty Virgo with a Pisces moon from New York. And Mars conjunct Leo rising. Lil and I are going to go have some treatments done. We're actually treating. She's treating me to a couple of things, which you just watch. I'm not gonna reveal too much. I mean, my patrons know because I've probably talked about it 10,000 times since the idea was conceived. But the things have been booked. We have rooms booked out there. Very, very excited to go. So you want to follow along. And again, for everybody else on YouTube and elsewhere, come play on Patreon. They're getting a side of me that YouTube will never say, except maybe every now and again on a Sunday here, right? A lot of exclusive content, a lot. And they're going to get a lot of exclusive content as well as a lot of advanced stuff too. Everybody else will get it later. Why? Because in the name of a salty Virgo from New York, They're paying my bills. And clients come first. I have a reading today. High school friend. She's like, Mal, before you go, Kenya? I'm like, let's say, yeah, why not? Well, I didn't know if I was going to be able to until some point yesterday. I was like, I'm taking a week off. Muggles work from sun to sun. Witches' work is never done, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you right now. I'm on vacation. Not when it comes to witch stuff. And darlings, I understand there are these things called emergency readings. Dial 911. I mean, I'm salty on that. I wake up salty, I get sweeter as the day goes on, and this is a morning check-in. And my lighting today is just, I couldn't, thank you, Apollo. Couldn't do us better for the lighting. By the way, BTW. But if you bring an emergency to a witch, we prioritize fast. I'm very good at juggling. I'm very, very good at juggling stuff. So, we're out there, I'll be on vacation for the next week until Lillian goes back home, right? That's when vacation will be over. I will see her off. I will cry my tears. I will hug the crap out of her. And then I will come home, take a shower, put on the makeup, do the process, and see what the next reading is. But clients come first. Like, I will absolutely say, all right, I'm bringing work. Well, I'm bringing work with me. Why? Because this is a creative retreat as well as a restorative one. And I don't know if it's Thelma and Louise. We ain't got no canyons on Long Island, but we do have those cliffs at the end. Right off Montauk. Woo! Right, woo! Dad, no. Not unless I get to Nail Bread Pit. Otherwise, no. No. And I love my RAV4. I love my Toyota. He's gray, so I named him Dorian. Oh, and there is an audio version, a recording, a radio play of The Secrets of Dora, the portrait of Dorian Gray. It's so good. It's so good on YouTube. I fucking love YouTube. So I'm going to be listening to some Agatha Christie, MC Beaton, Terry Pratchett, British something or other today in the background while I get ready. Pack what needs to be packed, finish cleaning what needs to be cleaned, and get ready for Lillian to come tomorrow. So let's do a little prayer, a little something to send us on our way. And this is still salty as I am in the morning, my favorite way to start the day. Once I have coffee in me. No need to be brutal about it. Why? Why, you may ask? Well, because of my skill set. I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for a very long time. Started reading tarot at 12. I was a high priest. I was a minister. I've traveled around the country doing workshops in the 90s before the internet was a thing, right? So I got that going for me. I got cool hair. Yeah, I love my hair. Just detoxed and conditioned it. Sulfate-free conditioner, overtone rich black, although I'm not coloring it because I'm getting a scalp treatment in the next couple of days. So excited for that. I got cool hair. Let's see, what's the other one? Oh yeah, the gods and the archangels always put the right cards in my hand. And I'm telling you, those 8-card draws, if anybody just wants an 8-card draw for 2023, those have been knocking them out of the park, gotta say. And I'm the fun one. I will never take myself as seriously as some of these people who just picked up a tarot deck. I'm sorry, I'm salty. Right? It's like, oh, I have a deck of tarot cards in a book. I know everything. All right, well, how about that? Where you start dealing with clients face to face. Oh, it's fun on the internet. But, I used to read in bars and clubs. The Hub Club in Boston, 1980, Venus de Milo, Axis. I used to read at Axis on Lansdowne Street in Venus de Milo. Honey, I read cokeheads in the 80s ground their teeth so fine they could snort them. I've been there. I've been in the trenches. I've done psychic fairs, indoors, outdoors, a lot. I mean, and am I salty? Yeah, but I'm seasoned. Salt is a seasoning. So I think it's time. The gods have said, the angels, the Archangel Uriel herself has said, you need a retreat. I'm like, okay. Because that's how I get away with so much. Like I said, I know what I'm talking about. Got cool hair. God's always put the divine always puts the right cards in my hand. I know when I'm the fun one. But I bow to no one. Even not even my gods and archangels ask me to bow or kneel. No need for that. We're all one. But I do what they tell me. Perfect love and perfect trust. I'm not even Wiccan. But in perfect love and perfect trust of the divine, that's what makes me a mystic. Spiritual and mystical ain't always exactly the same thing. Yeah. So this is the life I've chosen. This is the path I chose, keeping in mind that I'm probably one of the few quantum versions of me left breathing. But they also told me that, the Model 1 died in a nuclear explosion because that planet didn't make it. I was like, oh, okay, good. Then I guess it didn't matter if I had split ends. Right? Incarnationally, quantum timeline-wise. Because I don't now. I don't now in this life. Oh, no split ends left. Because I am a Virgo. Enough goofy. Let's do this prayer. A little prayer, a little blessing, a little something, something. While I demystify my darkness. And I feel worthiness filling every cell of my body, and it feels amazing. Could be the coffee, too. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon our collective pantheons of the divine, thank you, collective pantheons of the divine, our guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, healers, ancestors, and higher selves, all the way back to the divine singularity, the Tao without name, the pregnant void, the mother of all source, to surround each and every one of us today in a force field of light, containing and protecting our energy fields. So that all information and energy that exchanges between us in all levels of all overtones of all dimensions does so clearly, cleanly, and for the well-being of all, that we may heal, that we may succeed in our healing and heal our success, that we may shine the light through us at full capacity, receiving the abundance that is our birthright now. Oh my goodness, the Mac Con healing mantras are just weaving themselves in today. And on a personal note, get me ready, whatever it takes. Get the house ready, get me ready, get the world ready for Mal and Lil's wild adventure. So excited. This may be just for today, that we may be the best that we can be. Fulfill our sacred contracts little by little. Do the shadow work. Take a break. Take a rest. Or create whatever the inspiration is. And fulfill our roles in the ineffable divine plan better than anything we can imagine or conceive. And when our head hits the pillow tonight, may it be in satisfaction. May it be in a place of, oh, it was good. Whether it's a standing ovation or just, oh, it was good. May we know that we did our best. And may we end this day with a prayer of some sort. Just to say thank you. Thank you for doing all of that through us, for us, on our behalf. And may the world be blessed as a result of our success, our healing, our vision, our prophecy, our clarity, for the well-being of all, with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. So mote it be. And just because I say harm none, don't get it twisted. I'm not Wiccan. I used to be. I'm not. But I understand quantum unity. Don't step on your own toes if you can avoid it. We're all one. Whatever. I'm going to finish my coffee, and we'll see what happens next. But I got a client today at 2 p.m., maybe a little later. So keep following. You might want to subscribe, people. And remember, come play on Patreon, patreon.com/drawing the circle. There's a link in the description box. There always is. I feel like I should get a t-shirt. The description box. There's a link in my description box. You want to read my description box? Yeah, and come play and support the journey, because it feels like we've only just begun. Carpenters, I love you. Have a really, really great creative day. Just 30 minutes. I like it that way. I'm a morning talk show. I love you. Hang in there. Heal, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be. Bye.